5 years of war, George Bush has been right about only one thing, and that is that 9/11 has changed everything. In my case, this is especially true. When you think of the United States Marines, you would think of somebody who played football in high school or somebody who was a jock or an athlete. This was not me. I was a cello player in the orchestra, and I was on the policy debate team. But I graduated high school a year early, so I could join the Marine Corps. This was before 9/11. And then I was in the Ligget program for a year. And then basically what that is you wait. Believe it or not, at that point in time, there was a waiting list to go to boot camp. There was a 6-month waiting list to go to boot camp, so you had to put your name on a list. Now, I don't think that's the case. So I was on this waiting list to go to boot camp. And all I was waiting on was my high school diploma to come in the mail. And that was the last thing before I was legally able to be shipped to boot camp. I got that letter containing my diploma on September 10th, 2001. So like I said, 9/11 changed everything for me. Then I went to boot camp, and they heard about the Marine Corps boot camp. And the entire time I was there, they kept building the hype for the war. And then leading up to the war, when we got out of boot camp and we were in our fleet unit, they would tell us about the same things you would hear on the news, about the nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons. And then this is another thing which is outrageous, but we were told that the Marine Corps is known as the America's 9/11 force. Not as in 9/11 as September 11th, but 9/11 is in the rescue number. Okay, so we were told that this, by them attacking America on 9/11, this was personally calling out the Marines. Now, I could smell that light bulb coming from a long way away. And everybody remembers the gas, gas, gas. I'm sure you remember that from the CNN and Bennett reporters. The gas, 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 that's the verbal alarm for when they were going to gas us. With, numerous different gases and chemical weapons and things. Now, there's a couple of different things. If you're lucky, there's one type of gas you can get where you simply spit out your lungs. If you weren't so lucky, you'd get this gas that would make your muscles twitch so hard, it would break every bone in your body. Luckily, they didn't have any of this, and our leadership knew it. Now, leading up to the war, before we went over there, we had the anthrax and a bunch of other vaccinations. All right, so right now, I think I'm still immune to that. You can probably sprinkle anthrax on my morning cereal and I'll be okay. And the whole time I was in Iraq, I did not see one global chemical lab. Everybody remembers hearing about those, right? Dylan Powell did a fantastic job of proving that to us with his Crayola sketches. Now, before going to the war, this was a couple of weeks before we deployed, I was at the Chow Hall in California. I was watching Fox News, believe it or not. And I was reading the bottom tags scrolling on the screen. And they had one which had the most outrageous claim I've heard in my entire life. It said that Iraq was prepared to launch a nuclear attack on the United States in less than 45 minutes. And I couldn't believe this. I could not believe this. And then I knew that this war was going to happen no matter what. There was no stopping this. Now, during the first invasion of the war, we were the first Marine Corps unit to cross the line from Kuwait to Iraq. Before crossing that line, we were told to expect 30 to 40% casualties. And they said, look to the person to your right and left, one of those is going to die. And honestly, that's the first time that this really hit me. This is a war, and this is something really bad that we should not be in. And that day still scares me. Now, the other thing is, we were also told that the military was adequately supplied. We had armor and the weapons we needed. False. Now, the bulletproof vest we have a vest, and then we have plates that make it bulletproof. My unit was issued these plates in California. We had to give up our plates to another unit before crossing the line. So we went over there with a bulletproof vest that wasn't bulletproof. And this, the vest, it provides about as much protection from bullets as maybe your raincoat. So, yeah, that was terrible. So it sends into combat with a raincoat for protection. Now, our Hummers, everybody's seen the Hummers, actually made in my hometown, South Bend. And a Humvee without armor costs $75,000. A Humvee with armor costs $150,000. Can you guess which one they gave us? Right. Now, I drive a Jeep Wrangler with a soft top. And this is very similar to what our Humvees were. They had soft tops and canvas doors. provides a lot of more protection to the spring door on your house. So it was clear to me that this was due to financial reasons, and they just wanted to spend it away to keep us safe. And then they were rushing us so hard to cross that line and invade that country that they didn't really care. They didn't care what we had. They didn't care if we lived or died. I'm sure of that. And then instead of, since we didn't have these expensive armored vehicles, we had to build sandbags in the vehicles to protect from blast from underground inside the vehicles. Sandbags. Can you imagine if I was sitting on a sandbag? Now, believe it or not, the whole country of Iraq, there was no oil for these Humvees. Our Hummers had no oil. We run the things day and night in 100-degree heat, but we didn't have the oil to keep them running. So these $75,000 vehicles flew up to the side of the road because we didn't have oil to keep them running. So this is another thing that tells me that they were rushing us so
I guess this is a tribute to the fallen heroes. I don't consider them heroes, I consider them manipulated. A lot of dead people, bro. A lot of dead people. A lot of people.
For what?
For nothing.
Lies.
For lies. Yeah. Good turnout, man. If the weather was nicer, we would have got a lot more people.